Yeah, but in this like your talk, I would say like some students, we will go down like a master or PhD student, especially from our country like Pakistan. We don't have like much interaction or much facilities to do some research or to participate in some conferences or like have a social gathering to boost our confidence. So what do you suggest to that student how they can like nowadays? I think like political things always also happen, and they don't have much confidence to express yourselves in social media or in other things. So, what you can suggest to them?
I mean, it's a very good point you raise. All I can say really is please be confident in yourself. If you're not confident in yourself, then, you know, nobody's really gonna see your skills and your what you have to offer shine through, right? So please, really be proud of yourself. You're from Pakistan. You're from a country with a very deep ancient culture. You really have no reason. You have, produced amazing scientists. You have no reason not to feel confident. The sky is the limit. Now, the second thing is, I know right now in the world there's a lot of actually kind of dismay and unhappiness and protest by Gen Z, Gen Z. I think we've seeing that all the time. So this is basically the generation of most of the people who are listening to us today, probably. Um, it's an interesting, I mean, you're in an interesting conjecture, aren't you? Because on one hand, you have something that is unique that my generation and even the earlier generation didn't have, which is access to everything through the internet. You can learn anything right now. So
Yeah,
if you want to boost your confidence, please go and do a lot of self-learning. We are looking for self-learners too. So if you show me that you learn things on your own, independently of your curriculum,
yeah,
so no matter where you are in the world, you really have no reason not to, for example, learn basics of bioinformatics. All the courses are out there on the internet. There's a lot of stuff out there. And we have people like that who are joined us who have actually learned a lot on their own during their undergraduate studies and so on. They didn't really need a teacher to help them. You have access now to these AI tools. So they also can be fantastic guides for helping you to learn. So again, like initiative, self-learning, showing that you actually take advantage of the opportunities you have that actually previous generation haven't had the opportunity to. The days of having a teacher holding your hand and taking you through a curriculum are over. You have to be able to figure it out on your own. And this is really what will allow you to be successful in the future, in an AI kind of dominated future, because a lot of those kind of basic technical skills, the things that actually we learn at the university and in school, these days, that's very, how to say, that's very well documented and that's very coded, it's all coded knowledge. All of
yeah,
that can be now produced by AI. I'm
yeah,
sorry to say, but the role of even a teacher these days or a professor is not what it used to be. So what I want to see really is that kind of uh, awareness of all these opportunities and the capacity to capture them. Social media, I mean, the fact that we are talking today and we have connected, through social media, I'm sure, the reason we are connected
yeah,
is you
yeah,
have came across my profile through the internet or through social media somehow, and here we are talking to each other, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, so I think really show initiative again and do something. Don't be there passive. Just be entrepreneurial. Do something. Do a
Yeah,
podcast.
thank you very much. From this answer, I would like to ask another question. Like, especially in our country, in universities, the students are like competing with grades, not like focusing on to learn skills. So they are just have a competition with grades to getting more marks. So what do you think, and what do you suggest about this thing to the students, the young
I really
generation?
hate this, actually. I really hate this. Of course, unfortunately, of course, grades are important because you're competing, and then fellowships and so on are often awarded based on grades. So yes, I mean, it's understandable that the students have that mindset. But I'm going to say something controversial, and actually, I said it here, even in our context here, with Western students, even, and I got in trouble for saying it. Personally, I prefer B students over A students.
Mhm.
I tell you why. Because the A students, usually, they overstudy.
Mm-hmm.
And and the B students, they study enough to get the B, but they are also exploring other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that other things make them probably more likely to be successful in the longer term than the ones who overstudy. And because the real world, once you're in working in the lab, once you're doing research, once you have to do all the other things that an academic has to do, or even if you work for a company, there are a lot of skills that are way beyond what just studying, right? You have to communicate with people, you have to have some kind of being streetwise in a way, try to read the situation and react quickly. You have to be able to deal with problems. You have to be able to deal with failure. A lot of really, really good students haven't really experienced failure. So what will happen when they experience failure? You have to be resilient. So all these other skills really, they come from that life experience. So this is why I personally like to see someone having more than just the academic background. Again, even someone with some evidence of artistry or
Yeah.
some evidence of really good kind of social media sort of presence. In these days we are using AlphaFold and these tools for protein structure modeling quite a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, we noticed that a lot of students who are really good at computer games are
Yeah.
very good at analyzing protein structures on the
Yeah.
computer. So even a skill like being very good at computer games could actually in the future turn out to be, even now, turn out to
Yeah.
be an incredibly important skill for application research. But
Yeah.
maybe the A students who are only studying and never really try to explore anything else, maybe they don't have the capacity to move out of their comfort zone to other areas of expertise, which will have to happen over a career. You're going to move out of your comfort zone.
So the next question is that for the first part, the what the one piece advice to help the students to build a long-term professional relationship with the professors, even though if they don't have like a research experience, especially in our countries, we don't have during bachelor or master, we don't have much experience about the research career, but they still want to go abroad for PhD or for their master degree. So how they can make a connection with them?
I mean, it's a difficult question again because of the volume, and as you alluded to earlier, there's just a lot of volume. But I would say if somebody were to email me a very specific question, I will do my best to respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is very often, you get emails like, would you like to co-supervise my master project? That's way too vague and way too general. And I obviously don't have the bandwidth to do that while also doing all the stuff I do here, right? But if somebody will ask me very specifically, I'm planning this experiment and I struggling between choice A and B, what would be your advice? I would probably take, the 5-10 minutes to respond to that because that's very specific. And I would feel also that I could maybe have an impact on that is very tangible and very specific, right? So if you want to really build that relationship, be more specific.
Mm-hmm.
I think unfortunately a lot of the emails we receive are very generic.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're terrible because they're written by AI, full of errors. I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of like, somebody was telling me recently, a colleague of mine, that they received an email, I would like to join your lab and I really like your paper. And the paper was actually fictional, AI produced kind of reference. It didn't exist, actually. That paper didn't even exist. So, yeah, if you're not even bothering to do that, then, yeah, obviously you're not going to go very far with that. But if you're very specific, somebody really shows to me in their message that they have thought about this, they have actually connected what they're doing with what I'm doing and what my knowledge is about, then I will probably take the time to support them. And that could be the first step in building a relationship.
Yeah. So, for from this question, is just not from the interview. Did you also get frustrated or irritated when you receiving like 50 emails and some is like saying from Chat GPT or something like this? How you like as a person, how you deal with that?
I always try to respond even politely and say, we receive high volume, I'm sorry, and this kind of things. Um, the times I get really irritated is not through email. I mean, if somebody sends a proper email with a good cover letter and and with the CV attached, then I respect that, and I will try to respond in one way or another. What irritates me is the messages that come through, for example, Facebook Messenger or other platforms like that. Sometimes it's just, hello, can we talk? Or hi, or I would like to join your lab. And I'm like, I mean, I have no information. There's no cover letter. There's nothing, you know? I mean, what am I going to reply? Yeah, just hop over on the flight and come over. So that's not professional at all. And in some cases, I did actually shide people and say, look, this is not the way. I want to give you an advice. This is not how you should approach people. And you should really write a proper cover letter with your motivation, ambition, explain why you're interested in this particular lab, etc. Otherwise, it's not going to go far, right?
I think after this interview, you will get more message on Facebook from our country.
I hope not, please.
So